Everybody for joining the call. I really would like you to tag some of your coaches who are thinking about doing a group, an effective group. I want to just mention the 4 vital behaviors because when you signed up to be a coach, those vital behaviors were about you getting your own results, you being a product of the products, and then inviting people onto your journey with you, inviting people to groups, inviting people to try Shakeology, whatever it is. That invitation to groups is part of what you do as a coach. Now, we did something. Now, the 4 vital behaviors, you know the other ones: get results, do your personal development, and connect. Oh my goodness, I just forgot the 4th one. Anyway, you all know what the 4 vital behaviors are. If you don't, you got to go back to your coach online office, go back to your training. But inviting to groups is what conforms your business, transforms your business. And that's what these 3 coaches did. We did something really interesting at Beachbody. And I'm talking a little bit because I'm waiting for you all to tag your coaches. Come on, get them on this wake up call now. We did something at Beachbody where we looked at coaches who were very successful with their groups. Now, what does successful mean? You will hear it on this call, but what we looked at were coaches who were running groups via the BODgroups platform, getting people results, getting better engagement, getting people to enjoy and love the process, and then turning around and doing their own group. So it's creating a duplication. I brought 3 coaches on today to do something very new here, and that's listen to perspectives. Some of their perspectives are the same, some of them are a little different, but hopefully it will shine a light on you today on how important groups are in your coaching business. I am going to move forward now and introduce our first of 3 coaches. I'm going to bring them all on, but let me do the first one first. She has been coaching 3 years. And you guys, she is currently a superstar diamond coach. Last year, she was in the top 10 as a 2020 elite top 10 coach. And she is currently at the top 10 of the leaderboards for elite again. So in a couple weeks, when we announce the 2021 elite coaches, I have a good idea that she might be up there. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Kelsey Hill. Yay, Kelsey. Hi there.
Hey, hello, how are
So
you?
good to see you. And I'm so excited that you're doing this call because it's coming up to the end of the year and you are trying to solidify your spot up
Yes,
there in the top 10. So thank you for taking the time away from your busy coaching schedule.
of course.
All right, next is she's been coaching about 1.5 years. She's currently a diamond coach. And ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Martzoff. Lisa, let's get you unmuted, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. And you're near me, right? You're in Southern California.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Where it doesn't snow very often.
No, it doesn't. But we're freezing anyway, right? It's probably 68 degrees outside. All right. Anyway, and last but not least, she's been coaching 4 years, but I love her story and she's going to tell a little bit about it because she signed up 10 years ago, but really only got into the coaching about 4 years ago. She is a 4-star diamond coach, Emily Nowlan. Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Yay, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining us. Okay, so I have a list of questions and we've already talked a little bit, but I want you to share what's been going on in your groups. What brought you to the top of our leaderboards in terms of running effective groups? So let me go with Lisa first and let me ask you a question before we get into BOD groups per se. How important are challenge groups and what do challengers get from that group experience?
Well, I think it's imperative. I think it's such a crucial component. And I have been on both sides of it because when I started, I was not part of a group myself. And I've been a fitness instructor for 31 years. And I know what that looks like when you do lean into a community. fortunately on that side of it, that's only whenever you go and show up. So when I decided to dive into coaching, which was more of a forced hand because of COVID, didn't have a platform to go out and teach in anymore because we were all stay at home. So when I actually took that leap and jumped in and embraced the community, the virtual community, that allowed not only myself to get my own results, but that also allowed what I saw opening up was it's a constant support. It's a constant accountability. It's a constant community, not just when you show up. If you know, it's rare if you go to a class and you take a class that you can contact that instructor at 3 o'clock when you have a question about nutrition or your dinner. But in our groups, it's a constant attachment to not only the coach but to each other, and that community is what we rely on when we feel alone. And I think it's been exponentially crucial for women, especially at this time. And I think it's just so great that you have a tool to put it out there and you get it almost an instant reply and instant communication.
So you were a fitness instructor for 31 years. And so then earlier this year, your group fitness kind of changed, right? Because of the
Flatlined.
pandemic.
Yeah,
What?
it flatlined.
It flatlined. So you turned to coaching almost full time.
Like that. Yes, because I didn't have the outlets. And in LA, you know, I'm teaching at different studios and driving, and you've got this community, but it just disappears and you don't really ever think what will happen if it completely goes away. But it literally in one night completely flatlined, no outlet. I have no communication. I didn't have people's emails, cell phones, a way to reach them, even though globally we knew what was going on. But if they had to reach me, there was no way for someone to pick up or call or reach out to me. In like with the bod groups, they can reach me instantly. Hey, what happened? So it was literally cold turkey, chop them off at the ankles. I sorry, y'all, I can't help you. And so that did feel like a void, and we all had to adjust. But thankfully, as I dove into that, because I was forced to with COVID, and I was a gym snob, I was like, there is no way you can create productivity. You can't recreate the experience of just hands-on unless I'm standing in front of them. And I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I was like, there's no way I can duplicate that experience of a classroom. And I mean, that blew that excuse out of the water. So I dove in, and what I found was through these groups, I actually reached more. I actually have a better relationship. I took that leap, jumped in, you know, not just one toe because I was forced to. And sometimes that's when the best things happen, is when we're forced into those decisions. But this was such a happy mistake because it wasn't even a mistake. It was just a happy, fortunate thing that for us, bod groups gave us that life back. So we had the connection. We were able to stay on track. We were able to connect and develop friendships and new friendships, even in the worst time of that we experienced globally. We all connected, and it just gave us this platform of love and community and support. We didn't feel alone. You know, we didn't have to go through
Wow.
it.
Thank you for that story. Kelsey, what about your experience with groups?
So I am always just I was very, very in love with the My Challenge Tracker app. I loved being in that group because when I first started, that was the thing that I lacked. I didn't have the support. And I think so many other people, you know, in our world, we lack support. We don't have that group, that community that will lift us up and support us. And when I was in my first group, you know, that's when my whole entire mindset changed. And that's when my whole point of view changed. I couldn't do this by myself. I needed the support of other people. And then when I became a coach, it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about creating this community of, you know, women, of people that really lifted each other up, that supported each other. And I wanted to create that. And it wasn't just about me being in there. It was about me showing up for them, showing them that, you know, whether you're a busy college student, whether you're a new mom, whatever the case may be, you can make this work, and you don't have to do this alone. This is a way that you can, you know, have a community. This is a way that you can, you know, get away from your, you know, your normal day-to-day life, and you can come to this safe place that will welcome you, that will support you, and that will just be there for you no matter what. You know, we're never going going to leave your side, and we're always going to be with you every step of the way. And I know my first group changed everything for me. And that's, what I want to give every client that signs up with me. I want to give them that same experience, that same place where they feel safe and they finally feel the support that they had lacked for so long.
I'm coming, just finding my mute button. I need that pedal that turns the mute on and off. What I love about that is that you're showing what a group really looks like, and that is that community. Emily, let me ask you a little bit about your story and how groups came into your life.
Sure. So I'm going to go way back. I'll keep this brief, but it actually started in 2005 in a meltdown. Hormones were probably involved, but I was a new mom. I had a 2-year-old and an infant, and I had this moment where I felt like I was losing myself in parenthood and motherhood. And an infomercial for Turbo Jam came on at that moment, and I just knew that I needed that in my life. To say it changed my life is an understatement. So I shared that program with everyone I knew. It turned me into a group fitness instructor and personal trainer, and I told the world about it. I don't think coaching was even a thing back then. At least I wasn't a coach. I was sharing it. I sold hundreds of DVD, VHS tapes of Turbo Jam back then. No commission. I didn't care. I just wanted to share it. So we'll fast forward to 2008. That's when I actually signed up as a coach when it was presented to me. And I said, well, why not? I'm already sharing this with people. But I also, very much like Lisa said, I didn't believe that I had my own misconceptions about coaching, and my own ego got involved, and I just refused to actually step into it in 2008. Now we'll fast forward to 4 years ago when I did step into coaching. Our family moved across the country, and I no longer could bring my studio or my clients with me. So I had a chance to write my vision for my life. And the one thing that fit it was that coaching thing. I didn't know anything about coaching. I didn't have a coach, but I knew that it fit what I wanted. And it was a perfect storm because I was also really struggling in my own health and fitness journey for consistency and balance at that time. So I went back to my roots with 21 Day Fix Extreme. I ordered it. I knew nothing about it. I didn't have a coach, didn't know there were challenge packs, didn't know there was such thing as a challenge groups, but I did know that I couldn't do this by myself and I needed to do something. So I just reached out to some friends and I said, I don't know what this program is. I don't even know if this program is good, but I'm going to do it. Are you interested in doing this with me? We could make a little group and do it. And so that was my first challenge group born. It was amazing. It was magical what happened in there. We held each other accountable. We supported each other. And I knew at that moment that we couldn't be the only ones who needed this. So I was all in with coaching, and I was just sharing it with the world after that, bringing more people into our group. A lot of those OGs, those ladies in my original group, are still with me today. And yeah, it's just amazing, like Kelsey and Lisa said, to have that deeper relationship with people.
Well, good. I'm glad everybody has talked about the importance of group, especially since groups, when they first started at Beachbody, it was pretty new, but we realized very soon, very quickly, that it was the way that people get results, is through that accountability, through that community, through that support, through that attention. And we're going to get into it even deeper now. Kelsey, why don't I have you talk a little bit about how you run your groups and onboard your new coaches into BOD groups?
Yeah, so I love running my own group. I run it like I have an ongoing group. So I just continuously keep adding clients to this ongoing group. That's kind of something that I've always done, just because it has made it's just made it really easy for me. And that's something that I encourage my coaches to do. So I let my coaches into my group. I want them to see how I run things, get the flow of things, see what, they like that I do, maybe things they don't like that I do, and really get a sense of what they want to do in their own group. So I want them to, know how I run things, but then I want them to kind of spread their own wings and run their own groups, because I started out with one person in my group. I will never forget it. And yeah, it was one of those things that, should I even run a group because I only have one person? And I'm so happy that I did, because that one person happened to continuously just stick around and be in this group. I do like to mix things up. Every month I'll like kind of change the theme, but again, I'm just adding people to this group every single month, and I'll just kind of make things exciting by changing the theme, by just doing different things every single month. But yeah, it's very simple. It's not something that I overcomplicate. It's not something that is super complicated. It's just something that works because it's simple and because it's just a no-brainer. You are letting yourself be supported by creating these groups, and you're supporting others in the process.
And you're using the BODgroups platform.
Oh, yes, 100%. I have used I used the My Challenge Tracker app when we first got it, and I switched over to BODgroups right away because I just think it's a lot more professional, in my opinion, when it comes to tracking everything. All of the tools, all of the resources are right at our fingertips. And yeah, it may take like a week or so to like get your, figure it all out, but that's just with anything. But yeah, I use the BODgroups app. It's something that I have always done. I also encourage my coaches to do it. And, it just makes things so simple, and it makes sense to our clients too, because they're being put in this group where, okay, all of the resources, everything that I need, they're right there. They're there for me.
And you and Emily have been around 3 years plus. I mean, Emily longer than that. Where before BODgroups, it was My Challenge Tracker app, and before that, it was just Facebook. So it's like you are early adopters. Let me go to Lisa, because Lisa's only been a coach about a year and a half, and you just went straight into BODgroups. There was no adapting to another platform, right?
No, and I'm not technologically savvy. So for me to have all these platforms, it's just not something that I do well or naturally. So it was learned. So when BODgroups switched over, when I first joined in to get my own results, there was the fitness challenge tracker, but not everything was available in that one app. And so you would go there, and then you would be in another app, and then you'd have to find on demand, and it just was all over. And so for me, with my type A, it was all over the place, and so I would miss information. So once that switched over, I just dove in because that's all I knew. So, and that's how I start all of my coaches and my groups and my members. They don't know anything different. So when they come in, the first thing that we do is have the conversation, and I set up the expectations. What does that look like? I do expect that you check in with the BOD group. Why? Because not only do you have me there, because that's how you get access to me, but it's also the tools that you have. It's literally a one-stop shop. And a lot of my busy ladies and mamas in my group, they're a little bit older. And so it's either where they're like, I don't do any of that Facebook stuff or Instagram stuff. And so for them, it was a little bit daunting and a little bit fearful, because they don't want to have that to accidentally post on Facebook or in their personal feed. They want that private, intimate connection where they feel safe, because they're posting their selfies, and they're posting the transformations, and they're really apprehensive about what goes out. And so that platform, not only for the privacy and the safety, but everything that they need is right there in one click. So you can go to the programs, and inside the programs are your nutrition. So when they have a question, I always refer them back, because I feel that when they have the tools and they learn how to navigate on their own, that's what I really feel is part of their success, is not always just waiting for someone to point it out, but explore it. There's so much information at your fingertips in that one spot where they can go. And so I really set that expectation up for them in the beginning. I will meet you, I will be there, but I need you in the group, and I need to see what you're doing and how, and we need to communicate and be transparent in that group so that I can help you. And that's where our interaction and exchange happens. And again, that my girls, they don't know anything different. Yeah. Because that's just what we set up.
Yeah. And it's hard to imagine there are people just don't want to be on Facebook.
Yeah. That's a lot of my girls come in and go, I don't have Facebook. Is it still okay? Yeah. Absolutely. And, and there's a lot, and who knows where that platform is going to go. And if you do have Facebook, then, you have to go to another app to get your programming, and then you have to go to another, you have to go to another space anyway. So for those who aren't so savvy about navigating through that and all these different apps, the BOD group is, when you just log in on your phone, you can track it. If you have a question, it's there. You can reach me directly. There's just from A to Z, it's just an easy platform for them to navigate, especially people with bills.
Yeah. Emily, did you have something to add about how you run your BOD groups?
Yeah, I do. Because something I get from new coaches, they're concerned that the group is going to be too small or not engaged enough. And what should they do? And, all our groups started with just a couple people. And I think that it's important to have I think it's special to have a small, intimate group for them to come into. And I think the key to engagement is actually, like Kelsey said, it's simple. It doesn't take a bunch of magical content. It's not about the content, it's about the relationships. So the magic sauce is bringing new people in each month, because every time a new person comes in, that brings new energy. They bring that excited energy, and they reignite the energy of the veterans. And the veterans now are empowered to, and I ask them to do this too, like, hey, these people feel like you did when you started, make sure you're there to support them. And then it just creates this beautiful cycle of, when I came in, somebody helped me, and I'm going to help the next person that comes in. And so they just keep passing that empowerment baton around and supporting each other and building those relationships, which keeps them showing up for each other.
I like that. Now, are you running one group a month?
I do. I run a new group each month.
Okay.
Even if they're doing a program that goes over a course of several months, we just break it up month by month. How do you eat an elephant one chunk at a time? So it works for my group.
Kelsey, is that how you're doing it too?
No, I run one ongoing group. So I just continuously add. I usually have like 2 start dates a month for my clients. So that just basically means I'm adding, a group of people 2 times a month. And it does, just like Emily said, it brings so much energy when you continuously add to your group, but also you showing up. That is part of the success in running, engaged, great groups, is you being your best client, is you showing up every single day. Because no matter what, if you have one group, or say you have 10 people in your group and only one is engaging, I promise you, one may be only engaging, but all of those 10 people in that group, they're watching you. Their eyes are on you. They are showing up in that group. They just may not be, showing you that they're showing up. They are, watching you, and they're being supported by you showing up. So that's a huge factor when it comes to creating, engaged BOD groups, is you want to be your best client, and you want to show up no matter what, because that is going to help your clients and your future clients continuously show up month in and month out.
So on that same line, Kelsey, how are you getting better engagement? I mean, because you were at this top of this leaderboard in terms of engagement of people staying in your groups. What are you doing differently?
So I think there's so many things that you can do. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can give you, is that it's about getting excited. You want to be excited for your groups, right? I want to be excited when I go to my BOD group, log my workout after I get it done at 6 a.m. Like I want to show up for them because they're showing up for me. So I always am trying to find new ways in order to create engagement and to just heighten the accountability within the group. One thing that I found is creating accountability partners is huge. It is key, because it's not just me, commenting on other people's posts, it's also them. I actually had a set of accountability partners that one of them attended her wedding. They literally flew across to see each other and hang out, and they're best friends. And it just blows my mind that if I never had this group, and if I never created those accountability partners, then they would not even know each other. And it's mind blowing to me. But I have also just, like I said, showing up each day in and out, and then also going live in there. I love that BOD features that live tool. Yes, it's fairly new, but you guys, it it works. I'm obsessed with it. I usually go in there, go live in my group about once a week just to answer questions, and to be live is just a great feature that we have in there. And also messaging. You can message all of your clients. And this is something that I do weekly, not only to check in with them. So I do check-ins once a week, but this is also something that I do just to motivate them and encourage them, because they get a little notification, a personal notification from me, a message from me, and that's going to motivate them and inspire them to get up, get their workouts in, stay on track, check in with the group, support other people within the group.
Awesome. So it's the personal touch that you add that makes your groups exciting and fun, and people show up. I like that. So Lisa, what kind of results are you getting with your groups?
So very similar to both ladies, Emily and Kelsey. I run two. So I run a general group. That's my mothership. That's where everybody comes in. And that's where everybody lives. But then I also run and I co-coach a Power Up monthly group. So we do both, but we're always bringing people in. And I do agree with that 100%. When there's new people, we recognize them, we welcome them, and it's a collective thing. And a lot of people don't have the support around them in their physical house. Maybe somebody in their family is not on board, or somebody is, maybe, shaming them for wanting to get help, whatever the reason is, they don't have the support they feel that they need to rise up and be successful. So this group, and the reason why I feel that we get the results, is because we're better together. And there's a reason why I think that we have that motto, is because when you do feel supported and uplifted, and even on the things that you think you fail on, oh, I ate the cake. Oh, I didn't work out 3 days. Oh, life happened. When you feel like you fail, this tribe of women are here to say it's okay, but they're there to go, it's okay, now get up. It's okay, let's go. It's okay, let's figure this out. And I think that the way that they get results is by having those tangible moments. And if I had stayed in my gym snob, personal trainer, fitness world, which I love what I do, I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith to branch out and really dive into the virtual platform, which is I go live with my girls. We have our calls, we're talking about it. If they need me, I'm here. They just have to reach out and do that. And that platform allows me to have a direct connection and help them problem solve or navigate, or sometimes it's just the ear that they need, or the support, or the extension of the hand to lift them up. And I feel like through that, all of us collectively giving them the positive space, the place to be okay when you're not okay, is I think allows them to get those results, because we're in it together. We are literally in the trenches digging out, especially after this year. And when you have something that's positive to look forward to, it doesn't seem so hard, it doesn't seem so alone. You've got this tribe of women that are there. And I feel like that's part of how you get your results, is you tap in, you lean in, and you take, and you're just giving and taking collectively.
Yeah, it sounds like you meet them halfway. And I have a question for Emily, because we talked about this earlier, and that is what defines a successful group?
Yes, I think it is when everyone comes in and gets what they needed. It doesn't necessarily mean they came in and got what they might not have known what they needed, I guess is what I'm trying to say, when they come in. So I also think, as coaches, we want them all to be interactive and supporting each other. And some of my ladies, they do that and they show up for others and they love it and they are right there and it's amazing. But there's other ladies, my group is made of busy moms who are giving to their families and their careers and everything. So this is their space for themselves. And they just want to come in and do it for themselves. And I give them that space too for that. So just giving them the space to get what they need. And that's a successful group.
I want to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is BODgroups, the platform. I mean, some people are having great success. Some people are choosing to stick with Facebook, and this isn't about what is better. It's what's better for you. What is working for you? How do you describe it? How do you talk about it to potential customers? Because what you do, it's kind of like what I spoke about at the beginning, is shining that light. You know, you give your light to others. What you talk about duplicates. So what I want to ask is, how do you talk about it? How do you set expectations about your bod groups? Emily, I'll start with you.
Sure. Yeah. Tracking is required in my groups. And so before they even come in my group, they know that they need to track, because that's the point. That is how we hold each other accountable. That's how I know what they're doing. And that engagement is encouraged. And that if they are going to, the people who are the most successful in my groups, month after month and long term, are always the most engaged. So I let them know that, and that if they really want to do this, they need to go all in, and not just with their fitness and nutrition program, but in their bod group as well. And that's where they're going to find my coaching. That's where I'm going to be. So I set that expectation. And that way, if they aren't showing up and they aren't having success, it's back on them. I'm here to empower them, not do it for them. Yes.
I love that. Lisa, same exact question. How are you talking about bod groups to your potential customers?
So I set it up from the beginning. I lay out the expectations. So the first thing they get is that welcome email, and it's join my bod group. And we go from there. And I lay them out. My job as a coach is not to run after you. My job is not to, hey, did you work out today? My job is to empower you with the knowledge and the tools to help you get to where you want to be. Because by the time that you've come to me, you've probably tried 50 things that haven't worked for you over the course of 30 years. And now here you are again, looking at that mountain going, I need help. So what we have is that solution of, not only do you not have to go to 5 different platforms, but you've got one space where I will be there for you. And if you have, that's what my job is to be there. And so inside that group, I lay out that expectation that I will show up for you, but you have to meet me halfway. I do expect to see you tracking, because if at the end of the month, I have no idea and you show up at one time after our call, how can I get you and how can I help you reach those goals when you're not using the tools? So I lay that out in the very beginning and say, listen, this is where I live. This is where I'm at. Use these tools. This is what you have available to you. And this is all part of what you just enrolled with me with. So this isn't something that you have to get on top of. This is something that's there and available if you use it. So I talked to them about being transparent and asking and using not only just myself, but track your stuff in the group, just like Emily said, is use the tracking device, use that as a way to connect and just empower yourself to get better, to level up.
Lisa, I want to ask you about the tools. Why do you think people don't use the tools that are at their fingertips?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think it comes down to we're so used to like having it done quickly. We want other people to tell us where to go. We don't want to take the time to sit down and go, I'm going to watch all those modules. I'm going to really learn what ultimate portion fix is, because I'm going to do 9-week control freak. Like we have all of these tools, but it's so much easier. We're so conditioned until COVID and quarantine forced us to slow down. It's like, just tell me where to go. Just tell me where to find. Just tell me what the answer is. But really the way it's like you learn what serves you best is you have to gather the information and the knowledge that's going to set yourself up, because what I do may not work for Emily. What Emily does doesn't work for Kelsey. Our bodies are different. We're at different seasons of life. And so my 40-year-old self is not like my 51-year-old self right now. So I had to relearn what worked for me at a different stage of my life. And that required me to go in and really learn what all of these tools were, and not somebody telling me, oh, yeah, this is the answer to that question. You have to become your own advocate for what works for you. And the only way you're going to do that is to sit down and invest the time. You are the best gift of health that you can give yourself, is using the tools to really learn. I mean, anything you want to know about nutrition is in there. That's what the nutritionists that we have on board are for. They do the work. They supply us with the info. We just have to learn it.
Yeah.
And not have somebody say, oh, it's chapter 4, module 1, learn, take that moment. You're worth it. And that's what I try to empower my ladies.
What's funny is that there's 2 ways you can go. You can just say, oh, this is too hard and I quit, or you can learn it and it builds confidence and then you become better.
Yep.
So great advice there. And Kelsey, how do you talk about bod groups to your potential customers?
So I think bod groups is just so different from anything anyone else is doing. You know, this supportive, private, online community, that is something that so many people need in their lives. And that's really how I talk about it with my potential clients that are interested. It is a supportive, private community. It is off of all other social medias. So it is completely private. It is truly a safe place where not only I'm not just in there talking the talk, telling you guys what to do, I'm actually walking the walk. I am there every step of the way, sharing my struggle, sharing what I'm going through, but also how I'm overcoming, and, you know, sharing tips, sharing motivation, and just being there to, you know, empower my clients and being there to guide them and support them. And really, something that I love to do every single month is evaluate, like, why do I want them in this group? Why do I need this group? Why is this important to me? Why is it important that I need to be showing up every single day and creating this positive, you know, light and being this positive light? Because there are, you know, are people that show up in my group every single day and they need me to show up. They need that positive post. They need that positive light, because maybe this is the only place where they feel safe. This is the only place where they feel like they can come to and be supported. So it is so important to me to create that safe, that very safe, comfortable, just place where all my clients can come and they can be together, and we can truly be better together, because I think that is a huge thing. And I think that we are so much stronger together. And that's what bod groups gives us, the opportunity to be stronger together.
So early on, you said that you had not used Facebook for your groups, and I'm just going to come right out and say it. But Facebook is changing. It's changing, and I hardly even use it anymore because of the interface. And I just don't know how much it's going to change in the future. And I don't want to rely on an outside social media platform. So can you talk a little bit about why you would enforce bod groups to somebody who is strictly a Facebook user?
I think personally that bod groups is it's just a way that is very, I'm trying to think, professional. That's the word I'm thinking of. It's professional. It's something that makes us stand out. It's something that can make you stand out to your clients. It's not just another Facebook group. It's something completely different where your clients, they aren't just in another Facebook group. They are in this group where they need to go all in. And it's almost like they can have a sense of this is real. Like, I'm going to go all in on my journey. This is something where I need to take it seriously. This is something that I need to look at every single day, and I need to show up every single day, because this is my journey. And it really just puts it into perspective how this is my journey that I need to track, that I need to take seriously. And it's not just me alone in this, it's with everyone else as well.
That is a really good point. It's real. It's legit. It's a real platform, guys. It's not going anywhere, and it's working. Emily, talk about what the benefits are for you on the Bod Groups platform. It's early here in LA, right, Lisa?
I don't think the two are even comparable, because like Kelsey said, it's professional. It is. I think everybody can attest to this. How many Facebooks are we added into for face stuff and makeup and leggings and everything? And that would just be one more that you would just kind of white noise, where it is where we show up. And people also don't have to come up with a post in a group. It's tracking. You track your stuff and you share about that. And so it keeps that going, as well as the accountability. But also for my coaches, the beauty of having that post library is such a gift. I put my coaches as admin in my past groups and vice versa, so we can use those posts and reschedule for the future and not have to come up with new content time after time.
So I'm kind of done with my questions. We've gone through all of them, but I want to end off with all three of you saying a few words about confidence. Because in general, some coaches feel they lack the confidence to run a group, lead a group, co-lead a group, use the BODgroups platform. People tend to go towards their comfort zones. What advice would you give to a newer coach who is just starting out coaching and is ready to start their own group? I'll start with you, Kelsey.
I would definitely say that it is huge to just go all in. It's going to be uncomfortable. You know, learning something new, it's hard, right? Like not knowing what you're doing, it's hard, but that's the whole entire name of the game when it comes to this business. You're not going to know what you're doing, but it's about figuring it out along the way. And each time that you get a little bit more uncomfortable, you build that confidence. Confidence is truly built. It's not something that just happens overnight. So when you show up every single day in your groups, you guys, when you show up in your groups, your bod groups, that's not only going to help you get more confident in your bod groups and with your clients and helping others get results, but it's also going to build that confidence for you to show up even more on your social media, to give more value. So it is about almost, putting little confidence tokens in this bucket, and each and every single day you add to this bucket, and eventually you're going to have this confidence that you didn't even know existed just because you worked at it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kelsey. I'll go to Emily now.
Ooh, Kelsey put it well. I don't know if I have anything to add to that, for real. But I guess I could if you go back to my story, my first group, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what the program was. I didn't know there were challenge packs. I didn't know anything. I just knew that we were going to do this together and we were going to support each other. And that, don't overcomplicate it. Just have fun, and the confidence is built through jumping in and getting messy, like Kelsey said.
It sure is. And getting real. Lisa, we're going to close the call with your answer to that.
No, the pressure. Okay, yeah. Both what they said. I think confidence is grown. I think confidence is built. I think it's created. I think we're such creatures of habit. It's easier for us to kind of stay in that comfort zone. But this is, again, it's like the journey that we take. The very first day you push play on a workout, you were not confident that you were going to get through it, but every day making those small daily actions towards it, pushing play, even if it's only for 8 minutes, tomorrow it's 9, then it's 10. Same way with the bod groups. When you have that bod group and you're nervous, you have to do it by action. The confidence is gained through experience. And so you start just by one day. You maybe reach out to that person, or it's no different. It's just that we're used to Facebook. We're used to that comfort of that space. But the more you use bod groups, that comfortability is going to be just like second nature. You'll be able to refer them to the platform or the program. But I think that it's something that is nurtured over time. But the only way to get there is to go through it with action. You can't wish for it and hope it'll show up someday, because it's just not. You've just got to actually dive in, do the work, get uncomfortable, tackle that beast head on. What is it that makes you so uncomfortable about starting that group? Because really on the other side of that uncomfortable space is that growth, that exponential growth and confidence and change. And it's exactly the same leap of faith you took on day one when you pushed enter on that Beachbody journey. It's the same thing. Uncomfortable. I don't know if I'll make it. I don't know if I'll do the workout. I don't know if I can last. All those same uncomfortable things, it's just in a different package. So tackle it, start the bod group. And I throw my new coaches out there. I'm like, you know what? I want you to create a bod group. And they all say the same thing when they first start. Oh, I don't know. I'm like, just start it. I will help you. We'll put some posts in. We do it together. And now they do it on their own. But again, if you're not introduced to it, if you're not doing the work, if you're not getting uncomfortable, then you're going to stay exactly where you are. So dive into the bod group. I think it's the payoff of the communication and the relationships that you get out of it, and the results that your coaches get because you are right there. Not coaches, but everybody in the bod group, the members. You built this community of love and support, and it's exponential when you just do it.
I think what you all said about it being a safe environment, that if you have your first messy post, people are going to just not laugh at you, but laugh with you. And everybody's got a first post or a first story or a first reel that if they went back to it, they're just like, oh, what was I thinking? And yes, so I appreciate all three of you. It has really been a pleasure doing this kind of unique call. I've learned so much from all of you. And I think that this Facebook Live is on Team Beachbody Coach 411. If you all can go back there today, there's some questions people are asking, and maybe you can shine your light on some of those questions. So thank you, everybody. It has been a pleasure. That's it. We'll see everybody here next week for the call. Thanks, everybody, and bye-bye.